Hello. Um, I wasn't gonna record this, and I really don't want to. I really don't like recording these things. But I am so tortured right now. Uh, that I don't know what else to do. Um, and I'm recording this for the other targeted individuals out there, and just also as a record, a memory record for myself. Um, so yeah, interesting. And the reason that I hope that this is spiritual or spiritually connected. Sorry, something popped up on my phone there. The reason I hope that this is spiritual or at least spiritually connected is because, at least in that area and way and manner, I have the ability to, and it's dead silent. It's 2 a.m. right now. I hope I'm talking loud enough. I hope that this camera can get me. There's absolutely no background noise at all except for, like, the air vent. So, but still, I noticed that they like to make my equipment not be able to pick up my voice very well, so I hope that you can hear me. But the reason I hope that this is spiritual is because, at least if it's spiritual, I have some sort of control over it, or at least I have hope to have some sort of control over it. Um, so yeah, for no reason at all, absolutely no reason at all whatsoever, out of the blue, um, I had literally ordered some art supplies on Amazon. I ordered some neon paint, some glass pens, and some little, and I mean extremely cheap little porcelain palettes, hoping that they would be easier to clean, hoping that they would be, you know, but these porcelain palettes, I've run into that kind of porcelain before, and it's so cheap that it's probably going to stain just as bad, if not worse, than plastic. I really hope that that's not true. I really hope that they don't stain, but I think they're going to be. So I've been anticipating. I wasn't going to get these art supplies. I wasn't going to get them at all. But then I ended up getting really sick here, and partially because of what I ate. You know, I eat things and I don't know that I'm allergic to them, and I don't know that they've changed the ingredients in what they have. You know, in these, you can't get anything but processed foods in America. You just plain old can't anymore. It's not possible. It flat out is not possible. The only way you can get non-processed foods is to go into the heavily sprayed produce section, and that section is so full of, I mean, they were actually, in California, they were fighting to pass, you know remove regulations so that way they could spray MSG onto the vegetables and fruits in the field, so that way there would be no way of getting away from, you know even MSG. So even all the fresh stuff makes me sick. I eat it anyway in hopes that it'll do me some sort of good, but it actually, it always has made me sicker than plain old, even like the Sara Lee baked bread. Even like, what was it? There was like a company called Sunshine or something, you know, just, sandwich bread that is like full of all kinds of just toxic stuff, you know. That stuff actually makes me feel less sick, along with like Rice Krispies and shit like that, than than the fresh produce. Whether it's fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, it doesn't matter. So anyway, there's so many tangents that I could go on for this. So I was sick. I ordered myself some Amazon stuff, the art supplies that I just mentioned, and I was anticipating them coming today. And it was just the strangest thing in the world. And this is why I'm like, maybe it's spiritual, but tonight I'm seriously thinking that there is no way this is spiritual. There is absolutely no flipping way at all. So, upon the hour the very hour that these things, it's like the closer they get to me, the sicker I become. It's really strange. To the point where my entire torso is consumed with, and I haven't eaten anything at all, not one darn thing lately, that would make my guts sick. Nothing. The only thing that I've had that would make me sick at all, it should have caused me to break out in horrific hives. Just really bad hives. Turns out that I'm allergic to hazelnuts. I did not know this. I ended up eating an entire dark chocolate packed full of caffeine candy bar that was also just pure hazelnuts. It was packed full of hazelnuts. Turns out I'm allergic to hazelnuts. I did not know that. So, with how ill I got today, I should have been breaking out in hives. I should have been swelling to the point where I almost damn near can't breathe. My nose should have been running. My eyeballs should be swollen to the point where it's like I got pink eye and I can't open them. Because that's what happens to me when I'm allergic to stuff. That did not happen. I didn't get congestion. I didn't get a swollen, blocked up nose. I didn't get a runny nose. I didn't get hives galore. I didn't get swollen lips, swollen nose, swollen eyeballs like I do when I have a terrible allergy attack after I've eaten something. I didn't get an itchy throat. I didn't get itchiness of any kind. Nothing, 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 nothing consistent with allergy attack. I have, so except for that hazelnut candy bar, I have had absolutely nothing at all that should cause me gut problems. I have had absolutely nothing at all that should cause me any type of gut upset at all whatsoever. And yet, the closer this package from Amazon came today, um, I was just feeling just not great when I got up. But literally, upon the hour that this package came, I was so sick. I'm actually embarrassed to mention this because I scared the flying fuck out of my mother. The absolute flying fuck. Apparently she'd never seen this before. I've had this before, but I supposedly she hasn't witnessed it. I know that she has, but she's getting older and she's getting forgetful. And she said she never admits to anything. She's one of these major deniers. You know, denial is not just a river in Egypt. It is my mother. Um she just denies it all. She absolutely, even when it's point blank obvious, she just denies the fuck out of it, especially when it is pertaining to me, you know? And I mean, I don't know what to think. You can't do anything with someone like that. And I was getting sicker and sicker today, and on the very hour that my package arrived, and actually about 2 hours before, um my very torso was, as my mom calls it, churning. um it wasn't just my guts, it's like everything in the soft tissues in my torso was, it was more than cramping. By the way, I'm sorry about this. If I could, I would change how this camera is filming. I really need to just turn it around, and I'm just going to move it a little bit closer, because what really matters here is not my face, but what matters here is my voice. So I'm even going to try to talk a little bit closer. But my guts were churning horrifically. My stomach, my guts, all of my soft tissue organs in my body were absolutely just tortured. I cannot describe it. Um, they felt I've had intestinal and I've had internal bleeding in the past. Everything in my body was feeling like it was bleeding, and I had a horrific headache on my left side. It felt like there was something piercing the hell out of my skull, piercing into it, and I was having migraine like symptoms. I was damn near I was faint. I was damn near passing out. Um and this wasn't a short-term thing. This was continuing on and on and on and on and on. Um Illness usually has peaks and then it falls and then it peaks and then it falls and then it peaks and then it falls. This, it just kept on ramping up and there was like no peak. It just kept on going up and up and up and up and up. And for lack of a better way to put it, it was just continuously peaking. I don't know how else to put it. It was continuously peaking. It was continuously, for lack of a better way to describe it, it was continuously plateauing. You know, like there was just it would there was no falls at all, and it just kept on getting worse and worse. Um, there was there was gut problems. There was migraine. I was dizzy. I was nauseous. And I was starting to heave. Thankfully nothing was coming up. My guts were churning like you'd not believe. My stomach was churning. It was all cramping, and I was having horrific headache. And during it, like I've had before, my whole body started to seize. I was shaking. I was shaking very, 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 you know, according to my mom, I was shaking very, very, very violently. I was shaking very violently. Um, I wasn't drooling, although I could not see. I was going blind, but my limbs were curling in on themselves, kind of like a dead bug does. Just like a bug, just like a bug. Have you ever seen bugs shake violently at the end of their life and all of their limbs turn inward? That's what my body was doing. It was shaking violently and my legs and my arms were turning inward, and I was having to fight it cuz I was trying to edit at the computer. I was sitting at the computer fighting to edit lesbian, gay, bi, transgender, asexual, questioning, and queer art videos that I'm making for this month, because I fight for the underdogs and I fight for the people that the 1%, those in power, hate and are trying to eliminate from this earth. I fight for the underdogs and I fight for the people who those in power are trying to get rid of. And the lesbian, gay, bi, transgender, asexual, questioning, and queer, along with the homeless, along with women, along with the poor, they are fighting to get rid of them. They are fighting to wipe them off the face of the earth. Um, and I'll try to keep this video short. It's already at 13 minutes. But they are trying to wipe them off the face of the earth. They do not care. They're also trying to wipe literally the black people off the face of the earth. You know, they don't like them. Um, and it's not good. But if nothing else, they're trying to eliminate these people having rights, if nothing else. But so yeah, I was trying to edit a video through all this, trying my damnedest, and I was having to fight my own limbs to uncurl them just to be able to click the mouse or tap the screen or just do anything. I ended up finally, eventually, after my mom came in and saw me, after a while, she just was getting more and more concerned about me. She didn't like seeing me seizing, you know, and I don't know how else to describe it other than an actual seizure, you know. She was terrified out of her mind. She got real quiet. She didn't say anything, you know, and eventually during one of her visits to me, cuz I was in the back study, you know, where no one goes at all, literally because it's so haunted, you know. And I know that because the room that I'm in right now and the front study is so horrifically haunted, that is why My dad never goes into either of these parts at all. He never goes anywhere near them. Um, and I know it's because they're haunted, you know. He won't admit it, but that's the reason. He won't go anywhere near, and the same with my mom. She doesn't go near either of these rooms. And it's because it's haunted. That is literally the entirety of it right there. Um, so there you go. But she ended up, she doesn't admit to anything. And she just went quiet and was sitting there staring at me while I was having these seizures. And, you know, and she sat there for a long time and then she walked away. And then during one of her trips back to me, you know, she, would wait a while and she'd come back. She'd wait a while and she came back. And through one of her trips back to me, she finally ended up sitting down and saying, you're scaring me. You're scaring me really, really bad. And I didn't know what to tell her, because I couldn't tell her anything. I mean, this kept up for like 3 fucking hours, and for at least an hour and a half, if not 2 straight hours, I was shaking violently, you know. For me, that it wasn't that violent. For me, um, I've shaken far more violently in the past, far more violently, in the past. But yeah, but she got scared, oddly enough, very oddly. And I tried to tell her, I've this has happened before. This has happened many times before, you know. But she didn't know what to make of it. She just went really quiet. But she actually said that to me, and that's a big deal because she never mentions my illnesses. She never mentions me being sick. She never It's like something that she just doesn't talk about, and she refuses to talk about, and she refuses to help me with. She refuses to have anything to do with me, you know, in the line of all this stuff. So, but yeah, to really prove that this is something man made and a targeted individual item, um, my neck is now starting to itch and I got a hive. And that would only happen if this was artificially induced, if this was not a natural occurrence of who knows what, you know. And the only reason I'm open this up to this might be spiritual is that, I know that I said and did spiritual things in relation to these items that I bought myself, and it was mere flippant things that went through my head about, how I'm never going to have the money to buy these things. But I never once considered being able to save money up, and I never once considered, because I'm just not able to, and I never once considered items going on sale and items being at discounted rates, and whatnot like that. So, and other things, like coupons and specials and whatnot, which, I never think about. Not only that, but virtually nothing on Amazon ever goes on sale. There's virtually never any coupons. There's never any discounts or codes or special anything at all, So, but anyway, so yeah, so why am I recording at 2 a.m.? Well, after all these attacks, which, I did eventually end up getting sick. I'm not even going to go into it. It's too damn embarrassing. I was very ill. I was shocked that I was not sicker. I was relieved for that, but I did end up eventually getting sick. Um, Oddly, I only had one incidence of, I don't know how else to put it, being in the bathroom. I only had one incidence of that, which was a real shocker because with how sick I was, I should have been in the bathroom at least 3 times. I should have, and I mean, because I was to the point where I was crawling. I couldn't stand. I was crawling. I crawled into the bathroom. I crawled in there. I was sick. Um, so yeah, only one incidence of being in the bathroom, and I didn't fall off the toilet, which is a shocker because of how sick I was. Usually I do. I always get right back on. Thankfully, I've been very lucky in being able to get right back on, but my God, you know. Um, this is really, really embarrassing to talk about. Um, but I'm going to publish this for other targeted individuals. You're not alone. You're not alone with gut problems. You're not alone with stomach problems. You're not alone with vomiting and diarrhea and stuff like that. You're not alone. And this stuff can cause that. And the oddball thing, the reason that I'm thinking that this is not spiritual, the reason that I'm thinking that this is not something that I might have spiritually inadvertently caused. I know that it's not anything that I've eaten because I haven't eaten anything that caused this at all. Um, Literally. The reason I'm thinking that this is a targeted individual thing is as I'm speaking here, I'm starting to go from burning hot. So sorry, just to rewind. After being so sick in the bathroom, I ended up falling into a dead sleep and I ended up just being dead asleep the rest of the day to the point where I was having to fight sleeping the rest of the day. I woke up at 6. I had to help my parents carry in groceries because they went to Walmart. Because they got groceries for themselves. And also a big thing here, my mom is having to clean her dentures, so she ended up having to get a whole pile of bleach and a whole pile of dish soap, and that was the main thing that trip was over. So, by the way, just to anyone out there, this video's getting long. So apparently this is going to be one long fucking video. I think, you know what? Just to stop this video from getting any longer, I'm going to cut it off right here and I'm going to do a a targeted individual part number 2 because this is already at the 22-minute mark and I hate having to upload long videos. It takes forever. So I'm going to cut this off here and this is probably going to turn into a 3-parter. So just to make it easier on the viewers too, because dear God, long videos suck. I think long videos suck. So I'm going to cut this off right here and I'm going to start in on part 2, okay? So just give me a second. Bye for now. Bye for the moment.